guys, and welcome back to my reborning tutorial. Today we're going to do veining. So now that we have done some flesh tone and different layers of mottling and creasing, it's finally time for veining. For veining you will need some liner brushes, something that's kind of round, and you want different sizes of brushes because some of the veins, like on the head in the beginning, are going to be more bigger size or thicker, and at the end the veins are going to be more thinner, so we're going to use like a liner brush. And as for the color, we're going to use Bountiful Baby Vein Blue pre-mixed color. But before we do this, I just wanted to show you on a piece of paper what the veins are supposed to look like. You definitely do not want your veins to look like straight lines like that. That's a no-no. It's not going to look realistic at all. What you do want to do is think of veins as rivers on the map, where they kind of squiggle around and then they branch off into different directions, and as they branch off they become thinner. For example, if this was thicker, then these ones are becoming thinner and more fainted. Do you get the idea? So that's what we're going to try to accomplish on our doll. You also don't want it to be like a definite line. You want it to be more of a shading, because when you look at your own veins, they are sort of like a line, but yet you cannot see the exact edges of the line. You see what I mean? Okay, now that we know what we're trying to accomplish here, I'm going to put some paint thinner here. We're going to add some color here. This color works pretty good with veining, and the nice thing about it is that you don't have to figure out the special mixture or the special recipe. It's all already done for you, and so far I like it. Some people like to use a different blue, like this one called ultramarine blue, and sometimes you could even add a little bit of that for like added brightness, but for the most part I'm just using the Bountiful Baby premixed color. I think this is pretty good color. You can try it on your paper towel here. Okay, so we're going to start with her head, and on the head of the baby usually there are big veins starting from the crown, and as they go to the forehead and the back of the head they're getting thinner. So a lot of times you would see a vein going through baby's forehead, or lots of veins on the temple, things like that. Whoops. And our color started running from us. And in the ends of the veins you want to kind of feather it out so there's not like a distinct end of the line. Do you see what I'm doing? Kind of blotting out at the very ends, and you see the squiggly line, right? So it almost looks like tree branches. Sorry guys, I was doing this and didn't realize you didn't see anything. But do you see these lines? These are going to be our veins. Okay guys, so I actually did all the veining on the head, and sorry I didn't record everything I was doing. Hopefully with all this funny lighting you can see everything. So these are all the veins on the back, and I like it for the most part. It looks a little bit dark on this side right here. So what you do is you put a little bit of paint thinner in the well and dip your Q-tip and try to go over and maybe take some of the color off. Like this looks too thick right here, and this looks a little too bright. See, actually let me try another Q-tip that's not pointed, and just kind of you can even blot it out like this, and then use your sponge to kind of make it all nice and smooth. So fix it up until you like it. And I think at this point, I think I like what it turned out to be. But if it is too bright and you cannot take it off, don't worry too much about it, because after this layer, we're going to put another flesh layer over it. So if you have any bright modeling that you don't like or any bright veins, it should get covered some in that layer, in that flesh layer. So now that we're done with the head, I'm going to put her here and we can start working on the legs. So on the leg, you want to have some veins coming down from the thighs and some veins around the ankle here and here possibly. After the veining, I'll show you how to do some blue shading. And so we will do some blue shading on the sole of the foot here and some on the ankles and some on the face too. So let's start here. You can even connect some of the veins that you have. This looks kind of nice to me. And you don't need to have a lot of veining going on here. And again, you want to smooth out the ends so that they're seamless. I'm going to use a smaller brush here since we're working on the limbs and the veins would be smaller. Just kind of random patterns here and there. There are some veins right here on the foot, so you can paint those. Too much. And you have to be careful with doing this where the creases are. If you get some of the paint in the creases, you want to get one of your flat brushes and kind of pick it out of the crease so it doesn't get stuck in there. And if you look at your veins and you feel like you can't really see them, it's very simple to fix. All you have to do is go over them again. Okay guys, so this is what one of the legs look like after I did some veining on it. Here's a vein here, here, lots of veins right here on thighs. It's kind of difficult to paint and film at the same time, so I'm going to go ahead and do all the veining on all the limbs and then come back and show you, okay guys? So now we're going to work on our hands or arms. Our paint kind of gotten thicker, which is kind of nice. I could finally see something I'm doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to replicate what you usually see on human arm, is that there are some veining right here. Usually you don't see veining on this side, but the most visible veining are right here. And I suppose there's some on the underarm here too. What we're going to do is we're going to create a little letter Y here. Something kind of like that, and we're going to feather out the ends of it. Maybe we will put some veins right here, so it kind of looks like that. It's quite faint actually, especially after it dries, but the main thing you want to see is this vein right here. So I'm going to get my paint a little thicker and go ahead and paint over it again, blot it out a little bit. So now you see some veining there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other arm, and after that, when everything is dried, I will show you how to do some blue shading in the different spots of the body. Okay, so we're done with veining. Here's one of the arms with veining, and there's just some faint veining right here. And here's the other arm with veining right here, and there's just a little faint veining right here too. Alright, so now that we're done with veining and we're here still with blue paint left, I think we should go ahead and do some blue shading. So, and I'll show you exactly where I shade. But the thing is, with this paint, it's gotten too thick, which was kind of good for us to paint veins with. But the blue shading needs to be a lot more subtle. So we're going to add some more paint thinner here. I think I'm going to add some of this beautiful ultramarine blue color in here, just to make it even more cooler. You see how it changes the color a little bit? And maybe a little more of paint thinner here. Yeah, this is about it. I think I like this color. So I'm going to start with the head, and I'll show you the main areas where you want some blue undershading. And that is right here in the corners of the eyes. You want some right here above the brow bone, right here. Then you want some around the nose and around the lips right here. And right here where the chin is. Also right here in the temples you might want a little bit of blue, which will be right next to the brow bone. And the way we would do that, we would take some paint on our brush, dab it off a little bit, and go ahead and dab some paint here. And what that will create is a little bit of depth here. And then I'm going to take one of my sponges and just dab the paint off, but there's still going to be a little bit of blue left. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing right here, and a little bit of here in the temples. You see how most of it comes off, but there's just enough of blue here to kind of create the shadow right there. You want some in here in the corners of the eyes and right here, and you want to dab it off. You want to have some right here around the nose, around the lips area, same thing here, so that when we do blushing on the opposite side of the blue shading right here, it's going to look really nice. So basically we're putting it where baby's skin would be the thinnest. Okay, right there. Maybe even a little bit under the chin, just to create some depth. I think this doll is starting to come to life here. We can also go ahead and put some blue. Oops! Don't go in there. That's why you need to dab the paint off on the paper towel. We want to put some paint over here on the bridge of the nose too, because a lot of babies have that little blue there. There we go. You can also put a little bit of blue just on the outside of the ear right here. Sometimes it has a little blue there. And that's how we do the blue shading on the face. Now on the hands and arms, what you want to do is you want to put some blue right here inside of the hand, and even over here. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other arm. Going to put some blue right here and right here, just where we had veins, which might make some veins less apparent, but that's okay. That's the point. You don't want the veins to be too apparent, right? On the legs, you want to put some blue shading, mostly on the feet. The main area would be right here in the middle, like that, because this part and this part will be blushed later, and the tips of the toes. But this inside is going to be blue, so there will be like a contrast of some sort. So you want to put some blue here and there. There we go. That looks really good. And then you want to put just a little bit of blue right here on the ankle and possibly on the heel, but also right here. But you don't want it to look like a bruise. You want it just to look just slightly blue there, like that. So that's how we do the blue shading on the legs. Okay, so now that we're done with veining and shading, you just want to inspect everything and make sure that everything looks right and the way you like it. And when you approve of your work, you go ahead and bake the doll at 250 Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes in your new wave oven. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and do a flesh layer again, which will be the same step as we did in the beginning. The base coat, the flesh layer, the very first layer we put on the doll, will be exactly the same, so I'm not going to show it. In fact, I'm thinking to actually take a little break from this tutorial. Due to my recent sickness, I got behind on a lot of things, and I really want to finish this doll for my friend because she has been waiting for a long time. And I do want to also finish these tutorial series, but I think what we're going to do is the next doll I paint, when I get to the veining, I will basically start filming it again and take you through the entire process until the very end with another doll. And hopefully we can finish up this tutorial. So again, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for your sweet comments. They really inspire me to do more of these kind of videos. And I promise that we will be coming back and finishing up these tutorials. If you like this particular video with veining and shading, then please give me a like and share this video with your friends. And subscribe so you don't miss any of our new videos. And I'll see you next time.